talking to, who they've been associated with, that consults for them.
Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. The awarding of mineral rights took centre stage for South Africa's mining industry this week. Mining Weekly editor Martin Creamer is in studio with me to unpack the story. Welcome to Second Take, Martin.
Thanks, Bryn.
Controversy, conflict of interest, even petitions to the High Court around the awarding of mineral and prospecting rights this week. Can you take us into this?
Yeah, this is just no good for South Africa. I mean, if a law can create so much controversy and so much opportunity for opportunists who really haven't a proven track record in this industry, there's something wrong with the law. You know, it's fundamentally flawed. They need to re-look at it and streamline it. We saw that, there was a spat between Kumba Iron Ore and ArcelorMittal, and eventually that gave a gap to a small, little-known company, Imperial Crown Trading, and they ended up with a prospecting right at an age-old mine, Sishen, that just flummoxed people's mind. You know, why do you talk about prospecting right when this mine has been going for decades? Then along comes a similar situation with the platinum mine Lonmin. Not yesterday, but this week, being told, it can't sell off its associated minerals. So that in the meantime, there is a facilitation in the law for it to continue to sell those minerals that are associated with platinum, even if there is a right that is held outside of Lonmin. So just so much confusion with this law. South Africa's name is being besmirched as an investment destination, and the government must sit down and say, look, we've got to streamline this legislation. It's fundamentally flawed. It seems as though it is so complex that only the people very close to it find it non-controversial.
This week, Mining Weekly spoke to the former Director General of the Department of Mineral Resources, Jacinta Rocha, and he says that there was nothing sinister about the awarding of these rights. Now, where do you believe that these allegations or claims of corruption are stemming from?
You see, the people who are taking an opportunity to get rights seem to have such a crystal clear insight into the workings of the department and the workings of the law. And that's where one can start putting a question mark. Who have they been talking to? Who have they been associating with? Perhaps who consults, for them? And so we haven't got any evidence of corruption. And of course, we're told we shouldn't see anything sinister in the law. You see, those people who are close to the law know exactly how it works. So it's no controversy to them. Some of them have been co-drafters of the law. But to the ordinary individuals out here, this is a minefield of problems within the mining industry. And so if you've got such a complex intervention that the state has created here, you're going to have continual controversy. South Africa can't afford that. Someone's got to take this by the scruff of the neck and fix up this legislation fast.
Talking about controversy, to some point we've discussed ArcelorMittal, South Africa and Imperial Crown Trading. Now, Famansa Steelmaker and Kumba Iron Ore have been at war over the price of iron ore. What do you think this acquisition would signify, and are there any potential risks?
Yeah, well, you now have a situation where ArcelorMittal lost its right at Sishen. It obviously fell asleep at the wheel because it is acknowledging this by wanting to buy up Imperial Crown Trading at a cost of 800 million. And of course, it did have to have a black economic empowerment deal. So this is killing two birds with one stone, but it's still costly. This is costing the company 800 million rand. If it had gone in and renewed its rights, it wouldn't have had any of these problems. So it's an acknowledgement. The deal that it's trying to do with the minnow, Imperial Crown Trading, is an acknowledgement that it's not going to get these rights. It should have tried to renew them itself, even though it's fighting an arbitration on the basis, no, those rights should have been renewed for us by Kumba Iron Ore. So there's so much complexity here, there's so much murky water that I think the government must acknowledge this MPDRA is fundamentally flawed. Go along and do something about it. Fix it up, because we can't start getting a reputation like the mining industry has in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where you have these constant reviews, you have this uncertainty. We had a mining summit here. There was a lot of cooperation between the government, labour and industry. They took 13 commitments. One of the first commitments was to make sure that South Africa was seen as a good investment destination. Well, that first commitment is being honoured in the breach. You know, all we're having are comments of analysts around the world saying this is a dicky investment destination for mining. So that's not what we want. We need the genuine investment. We need the genuine wealth creation. We need the genuine job creation and have a set of laws that are fully understood and transparent. But this is open to too many interpretations. They've got to do something about it. Fix it.
Well, I guess we'll have to watch the space to see how government progresses with that. Thank you for your time, Martin.
Thanks, Bryn.
That's the show for today. Join us again next time as we take an in-depth look at the mining world's premier projects, industries and business personalities.